Good morning, it's Monday, and it is 8:05. Kevin is over there struggling with the points assembly on this thing. I'm on this side salvaging the rubber pad out of the battery box. Battery box is kind of loose, we'll tighten that down, maybe even put some new rubber bumpers under it. So that's all the dirt from the engine yesterday when I cleaned it. The engine's starting to look good. What you're struggling with?
The silicone.
Oh, full of silicone?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, goody. You know what that really means? That means that this oil seal's probably leaking.
Shot, yeah.
And somebody tried to silicone it. We'll find that out as soon as we do the first start.
Yeah, either that or they were trying to...
Take a look. What on earth is happening there?
It's almost like they tried to silicone in the motor.
Let's see. See right here? Put your finger right there.
Yeah.
That leak right there.
Yeah.
That says that seal needs to be replaced.
So...
Can you see that on the video? Yep, you can see it on the video.
Yep.
So the good news is it looks like it's replaceable from this side. So
Okay.
I'll order that seal.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good catch. We'll clean that up.
Oh.
It's silicone never seals anything. I really dislike silicone. Okay, this is cool. We're going to change this too. It's the oil tank vent, and it's coming down here venting the oily vapors right in front of the rear tire. Never a good idea. So we'll pull that out and run it out the swing arm so that it doesn't get on the tire. We're going to dump the tank, and I don't know, we'll find out how much sludge is at the bottom of it. This bike, that's nice and loose, we'll fix that. I love this. This is too cool. This is a bike that's been raced or used hard, and this is a weld repair. And people will say, oh, that's really ugly. I think it's beautiful. I really do. I mean, that says, this ain't going to break no mo. I like that a lot. That is character, and I wouldn't change it on a bet. Let's see. This bike does not have a lot of miles on it. I think about, I can't see that high, but about 1,140 miles showing. Not a lot of miles. So the bike is complete. We got the points assembly out. I'm going to order that seal. And we'll mount the electronic ignition, run the wires, put the new charge system on it, clean up some of these wires over here, put in the fuse. Oh, I know what we should do next, Kevin. Let's get this carburetor off of here and find out what's happening inside to make a decision on buying a new one.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Cool, we'll do that next. Don't you love when I say we'll do that next? You know, that's subtle, right?
That's a royal we, right?
That's the royal we, right. Okay, all right, so anyway, we're working on the bike. Well, it's 8:45. We've made some progress. I've got this whole battery box out because the one of the nuts is missing, and I'm going to clean up all these, replace all these rubbers with new rubbers, which I happen to have available, and put it back in. Kevin over here has been working on yonder carbonizer, and we're not finding anything radically wrong with it. It's good shape. We're going to finish cleaning, put it back together, and call her good and see how she runs. Over here, I've stripped out the wiring from the charging system and the ignition system, and I'm going to start modifying that. I hung the little black box up under here. It's actually hanging from a strip of silicone held in place with the plastic tire straps, which eventually, I don't know, they'll probably stay there for years, but the silicone's holding it in place. These are the connectors. I'm going to clean up these wires, and we're making progress. All right, it's 9:30. Kevin's made progress on the
Carburetor and throttle?
there he is. He's sawing away. We won't talk about that. I've got the old rectifier out, and I'm going to disconnect him, run the new wires for the new one. And I've got the battery box back in place with nuts cleaned up and 3 new rubber mounts underneath of it, shock mounts. And Kevin's got the carburetor right here, all ready to go back on. We'll take another video when we get those in place and I get the new charge unit in place. Moving right along. Okay, so we're getting ready to run the to hang the carburetor back on, and it's all cleaned up and ready to go. And we found that the slide's a little sticky. Does that sound familiar? So Kevin, if you'll hold this camera, I'll illustrate what we found here, like that. And I'm going to show them that this is goes in like so, and like so. You can see a little stickiness right there. Now part of that is the black ink, I guess. But when you pull it back out, after having marked it, you can see the wear spot. And what's interesting is, if I have that cleaner, hang on. Let's just clean this off. And I'll show you that somebody's been here before. You can see the sandpaper marks where somebody's worked on this before. Now, the reason is, once again, it's been over tightened. And if you want to see over here, if you take a flat file and just go across here gently with it flat, you can see the shiny points here and here where this thing has been over tightened and pulled in. So we're going to flatten this out. We'll get a bigger file. We'll get some sandpaper. We're going to flatten this face out on the flat surface here. And I'm going to take a little bit off the sides of that slide over there by hand with sandpaper and see if we can't get this slide to slide smoothly. I think it's not that bad. I think it can be salvaged, because I just don't want to spend the money on a Premiere at this point in time, unless we have to. Because see, it slides down here just fine. It's only a full throttle where it might stick up, which would of course be the most dangerous point in time. You know, you're going down the road full throttle and it sticks full throttle. That's a bad thing. So we're going to get it past that point where it sticks right here. See that stickiness? We got to get past. We got to solve that problem. So Kevin's going to work over here and try to flatten this face. I'm going to work over here and take a little bit of meat off the front and rear of this slide and see if we can't solve this problem. Okay? Cool. Thank you. All right, Kevin got us a good flat face on the carburetor now, using a flat file, laying this on the flat file, and then a flat sandpaper. So we got a nice flat face there. That's cool. I used a little wet or dry sandpaper on the front and rear of this guy, of the slide, smoothed it out. Looks rough, but it's not. Kevin, if you'll hold that up, we'll do a drop in and take a look and see how it goes. Okay. That's lovely. Give it a shake. Now, if you can do that and hear that slide going up and down like that, like so, you get a good slide after. All right, so I think that we're just fine. The amount of metal we took off on that slide is not going to leak enough air to make a real difference on basic performance. Okay, so we're gonna hang that carburetor now. All right, I've got the wiring pretty well sorted out. It looks terrible, but it actually is pretty well sorted out. Battery, and battery. These four. That's your whole charging system. These two yellow ones just simply go down here and connect with these wires that come from the alternator. So alternator to here, like so. Out of there to the battery, like so. This wire here is the one from the old mechanical points we're going to just use it with the new electronic to go straight up to here. It will connect to the black box, and the black box will then connect to the coil. So things are happening. Kevin's over there. He has an affinity with oil. Oil and Kevin, and it's quite the love-hate relationship. So good. You got the tank done. We're going to do the sump. And
There's really no sludge in there to speak of. So
good.
yeah.
All right. Well, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, then we're draining the oil. We'll put it in fresh. All right, still making progress. The this wire will go to here for the ignition. These wires are now hooked to the alternator. These wires simply go to the battery, and I'm going to put a fuse in the hot wire. Kevin has drained the engine and sump. When he took the sump cover off, he found 3 bolts and an Allen, so we'll take a look at that and see if we can't get 4 bolts that'll be alike at least. Battery box is ready for a battery. I'll run up to Batteries R Us and see what they have to fit. And we're pretty well close to hanging it up for the day. Maybe another hour. This Triumph just came back. He's got a leak on the tranny main shaft. So he was here last week, got him all done, went home and leaked. So there you go. We will take a look at that tranny main shaft as soon as we can get to it. All right, it's 12 o'clock. I hear a hamburger calling my name. So Kevin's got the sump drained and the tank drained both. Got this all cleaned off down here where the case filter goes. A little bit, let's see. Yeah, that's just, let's see, get my finger up there. Yeah, nice, flat, good. Okay, so that's where the cover goes. We got a combination of stuff. These are what came out when he took the cover off. A stud with a nut backwards on it, jammed, a stud with a nut, and a Allen screw. We're putting it back on, new gasket material, with 4 threaded bolts that are the proper thread, the same thread as the stud that used to be in place. So we're going to go back very neatly with these 4 bolts holding it up. And we're going to put that together right now. Or actually, that's the royal we. Kevin is going to do it while I fool around topside. Okay, as the last thing this morning, we decided to go ahead and pull this oil seal out. What I did is I took the drill with a very small bit. I drilled 2 holes in the oil seal. It's actually metal under the rubber. Put 2 they're actually not self-tapping, just 2 machine screws into the holes. Turned it in with a socket just enough to grab, and then I took a let me zoom out some. Yeah, took a carpenter's hammer, put it down to the edge, and just tugged on it gently.
You don't even need that.
And it came right out.
Nice.
Isn't that gorgeous? And I would love to take credit for that, but back when I was renting Harley Davidsons, they had just about the same seal at the same place, and they had the procedure. When you bought the seal, you had this procedure explained on the installation instructions. To get the old one out, put the new one in. Isn't that neat? So, easy way to pull out a oil seal without a whole lot of prying and grabbing and he just said that. Prying and crying. So, anyway, let's see if I can take one of these out and show you. They're pretty tight. Okay, anyway, kind of cool, huh? Oh, goody, it's 5 o'clock. Let's call it a day. I went out, ran around, found the battery. This is a nice sealed gel cell. It's all wired in. It's held down, and I've got lots of service loop in the wires going to the battery, so if ever needs to come out, it's really easy. I only have one wire going to each terminal, then I split them off into destination wires. So it's pretty simple installation. I ran a separate wire all the way up to this central bolt just for ground. This is the ground that's going to go to the ignition system. And if there is not a good ground up in the headlight, and I think there is, I can always run ground up into the headlight off this central bolt. So let's see, Kevin rebuilt the carburetor. We put on a new banjo bolt. It should be ready to go. I got the wire going to the points compartment where we will use it for the magnetic pickup, so it's set up. The new charge system is installed. Alternator wires going to it, red and black going to the battery. We did a lot today. This wire's all rerouted and new. It doesn't look like we do it. We put in a lot of work on for a lot of hours on doing a lot of neat things, and it doesn't look like it. This is actually to a front brake switch, of which this bike doesn't have. This is to the horn. We'll find out if it works when I go into the headlight tomorrow. Here's a hint when you're doing things: don't strap cables down. Cables need to flex, so don't strap them down. You can hold them back here gently if you want, but don't strap them down. They need to flex. A lot of progress made today. Wish it looked like it. So tomorrow we'll pick this up. I'll change out this switch up here, which is a horrible switch. Go into the headlight, make sure that all the wires are there, and put a fuse in the fuse holder and see if the electrical system works. So we'll pick this up tomorrow.